Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Today, the plan is going to be this way. When I went home yesterday, I saw that we left out three important tags that we didn't cover. So HTML tag, HTML element, right? They go hand in hand. There are three important ones that we need to see how we have to know that they are even there, and we have to know how to use them also. So I'll do a quick go through of these three tags, and then we can see the way they work, like we've been doing in the previous weeks, previous weeks. And then after that, Ibrahim is going to give us a presentation about a homework assignment that I gave and what he did. And after that, that's going to be the end of the HTML to the best of my knowledge. And then we can move to the CSS. I believe we are going to begin CSS today for sure. So I'm going to get started. So I don't want to take too much of your time. We all know how this works already, right? In the previous videos, we've done a lot of these elements and tags. So I think the first one on my list is going to be the table. So there is a table tag or a table element that we have to know how to use, because sometimes you want to have a table on the page, on the web page. So how do you do it? Essentially, you could just Google it, which is exactly what I did, but I will do it again for you to see. I just have to say tables in HTML. Just Google it this way. You can click on any of these links. They're going to give you the code for how to do it. If I was to code this in the industry, and then they'll give me the structure this way, and I just have to copy this and then make changes to this to get what I want. So I copy this. We just created this file over here. I'll paste it in here. So, we can enclose this in a body tag, but we don't always have to do it. We don't always have to do it that way. But we can enclose this in a body tag to kind of signal that this whole code is gonna go into the body section of the page. Just put a space here, for proper indentation. I mean, what other thing do you think we can do here to enhance this code in HTML? I'm sure you're thinking that we can put HTML tag here, right? Wrap all the code around HTML to kind of signal that this is an HTML code. Again, as soon as you do that, you can cut everything in your hands, hit tab, and then paste it so that you can get a nice indentation. We call this indentation, right? When you indent the code this way, it's very easy for you to read it. Let's take this as an almost like a review questions. Oh, yeah. We're also gonna go through some HTML review questions, interview questions, and see where we stand. So let me add that to the list also. HTML interview questions. Yeah, that's the fifth item that we're gonna do. Well, so I mean, we can do a lot of things here, but we don't really have to. I don't want to make this too long. So, to execute this code, we just have to view in browser, and that is what we get, right? There is a table. Let me put this side by side. I'm gonna explain what is happening. We all know what a table is, right? If you are using a Microsoft Word document, sometimes you want to create a table in the document. So in the same way, in web pages, you would want to do that sometimes. So we can see the headings of the table, because tables, they have columns. So you have to tell us the column names. So the first, you can see company, contact, and country. They are here. And then the rest of them, this is the data, the table data. These are the table data. So the first, you can see the first line of data in this table, all of them are here. Then the second line of data are here, right? So I guess when you want to make a table, the way it works is, give me 1 second, please. I see the computer slowing down. You have to specify the heading of the table. And if you look at it closely, you can see they call this one TH. So there's a TH tag that goes along with so the table tag is not alone, right? It's a table, so it has different things in it. It has a column, it has a data. So we have to tell it what the columns are, the column headings are. So this tag over here, TH, that is a table heading. And then you open it here, you close it here. That means that this is one of the headings in the table. So that's the company. This is another heading in the table. And then this is another heading. And then here you are saying that this is a data, table data, TD, table data. So just specify the data. If you gave it 3 headings over here, you automatically the first data you enter here goes under the first heading. The second data goes under the second heading, and the third, like that. There's a one-to-one mapping, and then that, and then that. So like in a table, like I said, we have a column. We also have heading, which we just discovered. We also have a data in the table. What is one more thing that we have in the table that I haven't mentioned? It's a question, friends. Like if you look at this table, columns, it has columns, 1, 2, 3. It also has column names to tell us what the columns are. And it has data in the columns, right? What is the last fundamental property of a table that I haven't mentioned?
It doesn't have the lines like to separate them. Is that?
So the lines to separate them is a very powerful point, right? In a table, mostly you can see some lines separating them. That's good. Thank you for saying that. So we don't always have to have those lines, and we can still have a table. Like in this case, there are no lines, and we still call it a table. But I mean, it's a very good thing to have those lines. And as we start the CSS, you're going to see how to have the lines. We're going to use the border attribute to introduce the lines. But there is another one key property or attribute of tables. Columns, and what does columns go with?
Rows.
Rows. Thank you. Columns and rows. Anytime you have columns, there's another thing called rows. So you can see that we have this thing here, table R, that's TR, is table row. And then you see, so everything in this line is a row. And then there's another row. So, you know, you have your table tag, you have to specify the row. So the first row in this table, so you initiate the row and then you close it here. And then now you put what you want to put in there. Are you going to put headings in there, or you're going to put data in there? That is what it comes down to, right? So if you want to put a heading in the table row, then you just use TH. And then if you want to put data, then you just use the TD. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all there is to the table formation in HTML. Let's say your table is only going to have one row in it in terms of data, one data row in it. Okay, let me ask this question. If I want to make this table only have just one row in it, what do I have to do? Just the first row, the second row here. There are 3 rows in here, but we can see that this is the heading row and then this is the data row. So if I just want to have one row here, what do you think I should do to this code to achieve that?
You mean like these 3 rows, the second row you want to take it out? Is that what you mean?
No, I just want to keep that one only.
Just only, so the last one you want to take it out?
I want to take it out, yes.
Then you're going to take out the code here, like the 3rd row.
The 3rd row, okay, the 3rd row. I just so
yeah, let's block it and let's okay, like
we can comment it out. We can also block.
Yeah, we can comment it out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll learn about commenting it on. So now we can refresh this. You can see that is gone.
Right. Kofi has a question and a comment.
Kofi has a question. Could you read it for me, Avi, please? Thank you.
He said, what does the TR mean?
So the T stands for table, the R stands for row. So table row, right? A row in the table. See, this is one row, this is the second one, like that. Is that good? So I'm putting it back. What if I want to add an extra data here? I want to have, say, 5 data in the I want to add 2 more rows in the table. First of all, this one has to be saved. If you don't save it, it's not going to show up live. So, oh, sorry, guys. This will be the last question on the table. So anyway, the Control S to save this, and then now I can say view in browser. Okay, so we have, we just brought back that row. If I want to add 2 more rows in this table, how will I do it?
So you can copy and paste.
Okay, I can copy and paste, say, copy this, copy
Yep.
it, paste it, and then I'll have to change the content, right?
Exactly.
Whatever the data, so anything can be here, say tech. See, I'm not tech. I'll just put tech here, and then for the second column is contact. So contact here, they're using it as a person. So it's not a telephone number. So I'll just put, say, contact Evans. Sorry. And then the country. What is my country?
Ghana.
Really? It's USA.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. I live in the USA now. I'm a Ghanaian. Yeah. Okay, so I add another, just copy and paste again. We can say tech mastery. I'll just add mastery here. Just changing the data, but being careful of the heading. So under the company, I'm putting the company name. Under contact, I want to put, say, Vishal, since we are in this together. Say Vishal. Sorry, guys. Vishal. And then country USA. So we can just save this. Always don't forget to save it. Save. Yeah, and then you can just come and refresh. And we have them. Again, this table doesn't look good, but if we talk about the look and feel of something, we know we have to use the CSS, right? Mostly we have to use the CSS. So once we start the CSS, I'll show you how to add the borders and make this look very beautiful as a table. Okay, so that is it about the table. We can do a lot with this. The other thing I want to show you is called the image tag, image. So again, I know how this works, but I want us to look at the syntax because I want to teach you how to search for code and use it, right? So how to use image tag in HTML. It's just a tag. The image tag actually allows you to put an image on the page. So you can go anywhere, but I've been using W3 schools. I believe in their tutorials. So just yeah, you see my computer is a little bit slow now. So let me remove some of this. So the table that we saw, that is the basic structure of a table, but we can add a lot of decorations to it to make it more beautiful. Just close some of these tabs to make things go faster. Okay, so this is the way the image tag works. Just gonna copy this. You just copy and use it, right? I mean, as soon as because of this course, you always gonna understand this code right away, right? Because it's like, oh, this is what is happening. So as we know, 1 second. Oh man, I see the computer really slowing down. So the tag itself is the image and it ends here, but it has, what is the name of this? Anyone remember what this would be? Like in the property of HTML elements, what name do we give to this? Because this is the element, and then we are adding extra information to this element in order to do more things, right, with the element. So there are many things we can add here. We can add a style, we can add, say, background, we can add different things. We saw BG color, we can do alignment, right? But what is the name of these things? Well, we call them attributes, right? So attribute is all I wanted you to say. So this image tag has an attribute called source, SR, so that's the source. So you want to display an image. So he's asking, what is the image that you want to display? So you have to point to an image. Mostly you're gonna have a folder in your code that you can put any kind of image that you want over there. So that's exactly what I've done. I've created images folder here. All of that, just copied 3 images into it. So I'm going to reference one of these images. So tell me what image you want to show. So this could be any image on the internet. You could just copy the link and paste it here. But mostly in the context of software development, create a folder image folder, and then put images in there. So I just have to, now I believe I need a slash here, because I'm trying to enter into an image. And then, it's telling you the names of the image. So just pick one, any one that you want to show. Actually, this is too long. I'm going to pick a short one, a shorter name. I mean, that's the name I gave to the image. So it doesn't matter, but it's making my code look ugly. So I'll pick a shorter name, like say this one. I don't think we need this, but we'll see. If it doesn't work, we take it out. Because, we are in this folder, we are trying to enter another folder and then pick a file. So now let's view this in browser and see if it works. The image tag, just trying to introduce you to it. See, it didn't work. But another thing I should have mentioned, the alt, this alt is talking about the title, the name that you want to give to the image. After you show the image, underneath the image, you want to put this text over there, kind of a little description of the image of what it is. So definitely I can change this because my image is an image of New York City. So I can say any kind of, title you want to give to the image, but this is not really a title because it goes under the image. So we don't call it a title. New York City. Okay. So it didn't work because of this slash here. We didn't reference the picture properly. So save, go back into the browser and refresh, and boom, you have the image. Is this not beautiful? So we do a lot with images as far as web pages are concerned. You always put in a new image on the page, and we're gonna use CSS to make this image very beautiful. And you may want this to be a background image to some element on the page. We're going to do all that pretty soon. Maybe not today. We may not get to that today, but we will do that in maybe the next lesson. So that is all about the image tag, actually. Did you guys see the New York City underneath the image? Let's bring it up. We can. So where is it? So, I mean, I guess this image is too big. I'm trying to find the New York City anywhere. I don't see it. Okay.
Kofi has another question. He says, is it possible to edit images by editing the HTML image tag?
Yeah, you can edit it. You can, in the tag here, you can add the width attribute, which allows you to specify what the width should be. Actually, because it's an attribute, if it was a style attribute, we could use the style attribute and then we are putting CSS code in there. But right now we just want to use the width attribute. So you have to say equal to, and then you can specify, say 50 pixels. And then let's also specify the height also. I believe there is a height attribute. But there are only few things you can do here, right? If you want to be able to make it more beautiful, you need some form of CSS code, CSS rules or properties. So let me specify the height also to be 50 pixels. Okay, let me make the height 70 pixels. So like we can see what's going to happen. The height is going to be slightly longer than the width of the image based on what I've done here. And this used to be the source. I think I deleted it. I'll bring it back. I think what is important is all of these are attributes of the image tag, and you just have to know what they do, and then you can use them in your code.
So attributes is width, height, and source.
Yeah, one of the key attributes, I believe, is the width and the height of the image, right? If you have an image, you are thinking about, this is the width of the image from here to here. And then the height of the image is from here to here. If you don't specify, it is going to give you the default behavior. But if you specify it, then it's going to take what you tell it. So now let me refresh this and see if that works. Yeah, you see? Now it is very, very short. You see that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, give me 1 second, please. Okay, so I'm back with you. So you can see that this is not that beautiful because it's just too small. And you want to increase it, you can make this as large as you want. You play with it, right? Maybe 150 pixels, and then say 120. Can you just play with it? But any change you do, you refresh it, and it's getting bigger. Oh, I want the width slightly bigger than the height. You specify that here. Currently, let me just make this say like 300 pixels, and you learn by experience that these pixels, if they are say 200, you can expect this size. But you keep playing with it until you get the size you want. But you can do a whole lot more when we start with the CSS. But my concern is why this alt is not showing. I thought it would show at the bottom, but I don't see it. I don't see New York City anywhere on the page. And guys, if I want to put a line between this and this, you know what I have to do, right? I just want to separate this out a little bit and just put HR, horizontal line. Can put some space here, HR. But if you don't remember, you can just Google, how do I put a line between two elements? And even this table too, you can center the table, and I don't want to add any beautification. Yeah. See if align is a property. So align is a property, and it doesn't look, let's see if this would work, say center. We've seen all this before. Yeah, so that is centering this. We can also center this also. We can center the image, and it will be in the middle. But I just want you to know that you can bring image to the page. I don't know why this alt is not working, but let's see, it's telling us, see, this attribute defines an alternative text description of an image, of the image. So text description, that's exactly what it should have done, but it didn't do it. It doesn't matter. You guys can play with it and see why it didn't show it. So the last element I want to show you is called the button element. The button element. And you can say, contact us. The button element is very, very important. I don't know why the first tutorial that we had didn't use it, didn't tell us about it. It's kind of unbelievable. So this is what the button does. It gives you something that you can click on. Now you click on this. So when you click on it, you want it to go somewhere. So this one, it also takes the href attribute. So we saw the anchor tag. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't mention it. But so this one, we can reference any of these pages. All of these are pages. Any document is a page. So we can reference, say, reference news. Reference this. So this is one of the websites that we are going to be developing very soon. As soon as we begin the CSS. So you know what this is, right? The href is saying that when I click on this, go to this website. So contact us. You have this on your side. If I click on it, let's see. Oh, it's not. Is this really saved? Sometimes you face trying this. Refresh this. Now, if I click on this, it's still not responding. Let me see something. You can always, I just want to see if there's any error in the back. If you want to see there's errors, you can always come back here and check. Click on it. It's not giving any errors. So why is the href attribute not working? Let's see. We can Google this and find out, troubleshoot it together. Href attribute, maybe of a button. Of a button. Tag. It's all right. This is a good description. If my computer would be fast enough. So definitely buttons, they need to have some form of href, because when you click on it, it needs to go somewhere. So it's a little strange that, so over here, it looks like it doesn't work with the href right off the bat. We have to do more. It is very unbelievable, but it's okay because there is something that we are going to learn called Bootstrap. Bootstrap will make this possible, but we haven't learned that yet. So let's try this syntax they gave us. Because this one has a JavaScript code in it. It says that on click. On click is, I believe, actually, this is still acting like an attribute to this button. I've seen buttons have this all the time, but let's see if this would work. Copy this. Okay, let's start. I'm just, replacing the relevant part of this. Let's see if it works for us. He's saying that if somebody clicks on this button, the window location should be directed toward this. I'm very skeptical if it will work, but we found the code, we try it. What is important is you knowing where to put the code, right? And then try it. So click here and it's working. You see, this is one of the pages that we will be able to build very soon after the CSS. Even a few, as soon as I talk about a few concepts in CSS, we can be able to build this very fast. So actually, you can see there is a button on the page. I want to go back to where we were. So I can just click on back. So you have a button, you click on it, and then it takes you to another page. The URL that you have specified. So one question I have for you guys, if I don't want to use the button, what other element can I use? We've seen one element in the past.
A click.
A click? I don't think click is an element that we've seen.
The one where like at the bottom of the footer, didn't we put something like contact home? What's that one called?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Sorry, Afi, I'm sorry, I'm listening to you.
Yesterday when we
yeah, we saw that. So that one naturally works with the href though, without all of this long code. So I'll remind you, maybe you know it, but you don't know the name. We call it anchor tag.
Oh yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it opens, does it even open and end? So sometimes you don't remember the syntax and you have to look them up. Let's see if this works. Anchor tags, I think they open. So what I've done here, you can see is opening here. So this is the end of the opening tag. Again, this is an attribute. So this is how we do the attributes. And then we are closing it here. Hopefully this is the syntax. In other words, this is the grammar of that. So that's right. This is the anchor tag, the behavior of the anchor tag. Sometimes we love it this way because see, it doesn't, the button automatically puts a border around it, around the element. And sometimes you don't want any border around your element. So you go with the anchor tag. But these are the two things you have as far as linking your site to another site. Even linking the pages also. So now I click on this, and unfortunately, anchor tag also doesn't open. Or maybe my computer is slow. It's gonna open, it's just slow. Yeah, it's going to open. Computer was just slow, that's all, right? It opens to that place. I mean, the fact that the previous tutorial didn't cover these elements, it's kind of really baffling to me. But they are very, very useful. We use them on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so this is all that I had that I wanted to make sure we cover again. Do you guys have any questions for me? If not, we can move to Ibrahim. He will share his screen and then show us what he did as far as some homework is concerned. The most important point that we should all remember, we have all these elements and they allow us to do different things. So you are the one designing the page. What do I want the page to look like? And what type of element do I need? Clearly what type of element do you think we need to do this? We need an image tag for this. But there is an image that is being loaded. But that might not be the only way to do it. You may set a background image also. But definitely, this image tags can do this part. This one too, there's an image, and then there's a text underneath. This is a simple paragraph text, right? And this is a heading. So that's an H1, maybe H2, whatever. Heading, paragraph, image, right? So you want to have an image, I have to use an image tag to be able to do that. Oh, I want to have a heading. So you use your H1, and then over here to the same way, you have a paragraph that you want to put on the side. So the paragraph tags are there. And then, of course, your heading, what heading. So like, essentially, there's nothing on this page that we don't know how to do. Just that we need the CSS to be able to make them look this way. See, separate the page in a much beautiful way. And, this is the presentation of the data that somebody has done. But you can be as creative as you want. You can design very, very beautiful pages. So mostly in the software industry, the design of the page is going to be done by somebody called a UX designer, the user interface designer. But they just specialize on designing the user interface. But they don't code the interface. They design it and tell you, oh, we want this image to be like this, and we want to have this and this way. They'll give you this. They'll just draw it on using some software. It's not an HTML code. It's not CSS code, but you're going to use the HTML and the CSS to design the web page that they have given you they've given you the layout. We want it to look like this. Then you will make it. You will design it for them, right? Okay. So yeah, that is that. If there are no questions, I'm going to stop sharing so that Emmanuel can take over the share, but I need to give him the permissions here. Give me 1 second, please. So stop share, and then participants. Sorry, my computer can slow down sometimes. Okay, Ibrahim, make co-host. Yeah, so most of the projects we're going to be building will be using these anyways, all these tags, so you'll get comfortable with them. And then even when you start building software, you're going to see them all over the place. Because whatever you build at the back, you need to have the UI to show it. And if you talk about UI, you're talking about HTML and CSS. And sometimes occasional JavaScript also. Yeah, so please, you can get started.
Good morning, all. And this is what I've done about the assignment. This is the heading, and as we saw the picture, this is what I came up with. I put my home as an attachment, as a link, which on my page, I have them to be programmed here. This is this is another thing. Wait, okay. This is my own. This is what I designed in my own. And about us, contact. So I now attach in my main page, which gave me the home. So if you launch this and you go to home, it's going to take you to home. I just put this. And if you go back, you go to about, it's going to tell you about that design in my VSC. And if you go to contact, it's going to give you the contact. So I did the contact. I use like an input that will allow user to input name or email or message. And as our lecturer said, the button that I use it as an input, which is like this, send message as an input. So if you click it, it's going to send the message, which I've not done. So this is what I have.
Yeah, this is beautiful, people. So if you have any questions for him, you can ask. Like maybe he did something, he can clarify for us. But it was an assignment that we had to get done. Could you bring up the last page that you just closed, please?
This right?
Yeah. So can we identify some of these elements on this page? Is there anything on this page that you guys don't know of?
I think it's just underneath the name where where you can put the information. I think that's the one thing that
underneath the name,
like the name, email, message.
oh, the send message. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that one, I think you can use CSS to do that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the
Because
borders that you're going to.
you can use CSS to do the border, and
Okay.
at the same time, they can be an input that it will take, it will have like a string that can take someone's information.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just use that. Probably I don't know alternative to use. That's why I use as an input.
Yeah. Okay. Can you click in the form, please, in the input field?
Okay.
So type. Yeah, so you can type something. So because he specified it as an input field, it means users can enter something here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And they fill it out, and if they click the send, then officially
you have the database, it's going to take it to that database.
100% and save it. And save it. Yes. This is good. So I saw your code, and there is something that you could have used, forms. There is something called forms.
Forms, okay?
Yeah. Is that what you used in there?
No, I didn't use form at all.
Yeah. That
I just don't want to go deep because of, probably I will try to use form in it, which can allow.
Yeah, that's good. This is good. This was able to get the job done. But I think forms is one thing that we haven't covered. People, and we need to cover it. It's very, very important. Forms is extremely important. It's just like a table. But if you want to do what he just did, instead of using multiple paragraphs, there is something called forms, and it allows you to specify certain parameters, and then you have the whole form embedded. So why don't we try to demonstrate that? before we
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. I would share. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, sir.
And guys, don't be quiet. Being quiet is not good. It's not good for me. It's not good for you. Because I don't know if you are understanding what we are talking about or not. Right? And there is no stupid question, as we know. The, you know, there was a quote about it. The only stupid question is the one that you don't ask. Right? Any question that you ask is good. So again, I'm gonna Google the syntax of HTML forms. You know, that's all. Like tables, there's a form. So anyone, I love W3 schools. We go there. Let's just study it, right? This is, you see, it's exactly what Ibrahim did, but again, it comes under forms. So forms, then different things in there. Let me see. Okay, let me just copy this code and then we can try it, we can add, extend it, you know, because these forms can be very, very complicated. Sometimes you can ask for so many different information, and you can even have a selection that they have to choose from and all of that. So you can, once you master the forms, I think it will be very good for you. Let me just remove this. I see my computer really slowing down. I still think that we can begin CSS today, because we do have 20 minutes. That looks like more than enough. I can teach it in here, but I just want to copy this to our place. So we can see the body section, and then everything else within it. They have a paragraph over here, which is giving some instructions. But what we care about is this form, right? But you may want to give some extra information. So let's just copy it. You want to give it a heading too. So he has the heading there. So let's copy it. See, most of the job, you're going to be copying code, but your ability to understand the code is very important. Because if you don't understand it, you cannot change it, right? If you don't understand it, you make a change that is illegal. And then it's going to bite you. So we know this is the heading. We all know that. So I'll just leave it there. Oh, so I over deleted. I'm going to go back. I'm just undoing what I've done.
You have some messages.
I'm sorry.
Messages. So Kofi left. He said he had to go to church. It started early.
Okay.
And I think this is Emmanuel. He says, I don't understand none of what you're doing. I think I have missed service steps, so I need to schedule time with you, Evans, if possible.
Yeah, that's fine. Definitely. Thank you, Afi, for reading them. But also, if you had told me which part of it you don't understand, I could have tried to mention a few words. Maybe that could have helped also. But yeah. So this form has things here, right? There's an action. You can see this action attribute. And it looks like it's going to a different, it's loading a code from the back. PHP is a language that the web understands. So he put some code in there. So that code would work on this form also. I don't think we should worry about that for now. Let me take it out. We don't want this form to do anything. You can make it do a lot of things, actually. All that matters is that there is a form tag, and it's opening here and it's closing here. And within it, you can add entries. So you can see this is called a label, and then this is an input field. That is all there is to it. So a label is just you are just labeling, you're giving a text description of something. So I think label is something that we haven't even seen yet. So it's also good. This one is not, it works with the forms, but it also works with everything else. You have an element, you want to label the element. So you just say label, it closes, it opens here and it closes here. And so we are just saying for. This for allows you to give it a name. So you're gonna reference this name later on to store data there in the code, right? Because I told you the data, everything is coming from the back. So we are just giving a name here. It could have been an ID, it could have been a class, but with the forms, you just put for here, and then you specify the name of the field. And then you are giving a description, right? Like this tag over here, this is the content of the tag. So this label tag, it has this content. And whatever you put there is gonna show up here. And now you need an input field, exactly what Ibrahim did. The input field, you just have to specify what data it is going to take. You're saying it's going to take a text data. And then you're giving it an ID of this, and then you're giving it a name of this. For this ID and the name, you can use them in the code, the JavaScript code, to do amazing things with this field. And the value, you're also setting a value of John in there. So that's why John is showing up here. If we change this to anything, it will change. So, the input field has a lot of attributes, right? So you just set those attributes. So John Cena. So now that will be the end of this element here. But guys, I have a question. You can see the label element and the input element. These lines have, if I want this to be on the same line as this one here, what do you think I'm going to do? But before you answer that, guys, I showed you the label, and I also showed you the input field. That is how you get something like this to open up, that you can enter something right into it. Now you can see that here, from here to here, is just a repetition. It's just a repetition of what we did from here to here. So there is another label, there is another input field. And then, the submit is also an input field, but then you specify the type as submit, so it knows what to do. So
if you want it on the same line, you would take out the BR for break. Would that work?
I'll take the break from it, 100%. This break, we all know what it does, right?
Yes, it just means that it'll just go to the second line.
Go to the second line, 100%. So I take the break from here. So this will just flow into the top one. So let me save this, and then we see what happens in the browser. Hide floating points. Control S saves it. Let's do this. View in browser. Yeah, so we have the form. See, first name John Cena, last name. So yeah, in the same way, if I want this, if I want this one to flow into this element, I just have to take this break from it. That's all. So it's up to you, whatever you want to do, right? The way you want the form to look like, everything is, you have the tools to do that now, right? And now, instead of first name, last name, if I want to add country, you guys know what to do, right? If I want to add country. And look at the space between this and this submit. It's slightly bigger. And see how they did that. They just put 2 breaks over there. If I want to make it even more bigger, I can just keep increasing the breaks, and then it will just become bigger and bigger. But you can also do this in the CSS code, right? As we know. So my question is, if I want to add, say, country, a field called country here, and I want them to enter their country for me, how will I do it?
So for me, I would copy and paste one of the lines that says, you could copy and paste 45.
I'll just say 45 and 46, I think. Okay, yeah, let me just do what you tell me. So 45, where should I paste it?
To line 50.
Why line 50?
Oh, I'm sorry, before 50, because the form is going to close it.
You want me to post it before 50?
Right
Yeah,
there.
it's 50. You're posting on 51, yeah.
Oh.
You enter. Yeah, that's 50. Sorry, you post on 50.
Yeah. And then
Mhm.
take out first name
Take out first name.
and change it to country.
Guys, just don't be scared about the way it looks. You know, all the other tags are pretty clear and easy to see, but the forms is just ugly looking. That's what it is. We have to deal with it like that. But yeah, this is what you want me to do.
And if you want to add the border, you just copy 46.
Call it input tag. The
input tag, the
yeah,
input.
or input element to allow them to enter something into the computer. So I can copy what? Which one can I copy from here?
46.
46. So that's the input.
Yeah.
Okay, 46. And I can put it right here.
Yes.
And what do you, I don't need to change it. Do I need to change anything here?
No.
Actually, we can change the
value.
name.
The name.
The value can be country. I think the value, you don't need to always have it. It's mandatory. This is not, it's not mandatory, right? We can remove it. Because that's the value is what you want them to enter,
Okay.
right? So you don't want to give it to them. But we need to change the name and the ID because what the ID has to be what? Unique, right?
Country.
The ID of an HTML element has to be unique, right?
Okay.
You can't have one ID referencing different fields. The name maybe doesn't have to be, but let's give it a different name also. Oh, country. That's it. Now let's see what you have done, Afi. What we have done. I think we all of us were following. So let me come here and show you what you've done. The form that you have created. This is the form that you have created.
And I would go back and take out the break. This is
you take some of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are creating the break, it's not me. You are creating it. You're creating the form.
Well, it's on the same line as submit, where it's not supposed
because
to.
submit is on 49.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to bring it to like 53 or 52.
Yeah, so Afi, in a typical form, you always want the submit to be the last thing, right?
Right.
So I guess we will take it out. But yeah, I mean, I just cut it and I can paste it at the bottom. This is what you tell me to do. Control V. Oh gosh, sorry. I don't know how I may not have copied it. Let me just add it now. Yes. So go back. Let me make this slightly bigger so you guys can see what I'm doing. So here I'll put enter here and just put it there. Is this what you are telling me to do?
Yes.
Okay, control save. You just keep changing things small until you get what you want. So now this is what we have. Is this what we want?
Well, we have to take out the break.
These breaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take all of them or you want to leave one?
No, just one.
Take one, okay.
Yeah, just one, yeah.
Okay, because you don't want this line to jump. Okay,
yeah.
Let's see what happens if you take all of it, right? It's just,
it's going to shift to the
same
other
line
side.
As the one before.
Okay, they will flow into that, which is not what you want. So now if you are fixing code and you see this and I need a break here, that's all. So just you go into the form and you locate the door is here. Oh, just put my break and then BR, that's your break. So now let's see what we get now. Okay, we have the break over there. Is this what we want, or we want to put some space between this and that? We do want to put more space. We want an extra line between the submit. So we can just add another break here. Another break to achieve that. So forms are very ugly looking, guys. You can see it here. So ugly, but it's so powerful too, because I think this is the best they could do for us. So this is the form. You can keep adding more to it. And then with CSS, you can design this form and make it very, very beautiful. But it's still getting the job done because HTML is the content, and anything about content and data on the page, HTML is what you go to. Okay, so guys, at this point, I believe we know what forms are.
So I want to ask two questions. Number one, if I don't want any name to show on my web like John Cena and this. How am I going to do it? Am I going to make it empty?
I believe you would remove the whole value. You see, I'm saying I believe, or
Okay.
sometimes you're not even sure. These are all attributes. You don't need to set them, especially if you're not going to use them. So
let's try these two before we go further.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. Refresh this page, and boom.
Okay.
But
So the second question.
Yeah.
If by chance after country they now ask for zip code, which only takes numbers, is it here in the input type equals to text? I'm going to change it to int or what?
Okay, so HTML, I believe you don't really enter ints here.
Int here, okay.
Yeah, but there may be other types that you can put here. But even if
numeric
you are
something.
I'm sorry?
Maybe something like numeric.
Yeah, maybe something like numeric. But the thing is, a number can also be a text. That's the thing.
Okay. Okay.
So
thank you.
Yeah, you can still use a number as a text, and it will be okay, right? Let's see. Right now, I'm able to enter numbers, even though the type is what text. But I give it to you as an exercise to just look for other types that could go in here. But mostly the text is what you do. These are all conventional, you know. That's the thing. They're almost always the same way. Text, then submit. As soon as you tell it submit, it knows that you're not going to enter any input there. It has to be submit. Once you click on it, the page refreshes. The form gives you all that for free, extra behavior for free. So guys, we couldn't get to CSS, it looks like. We have 6 minutes. Do you think we can begin the CSS? I mean, one thing we haven't done is the interview questions, but maybe we can do it at the last, after we finish the CSS, we can look at interview questions together.
Let's look at interview questions now. What do you think? Maybe we should vote, at least.
Really?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Then we didn't start CSS at all, and I feel bad.
Maybe we can start that next week,
Yeah, it'll be like
don't let us wait till there are so much to attend to. If you are giving us like bit by bit like this, we can get it more than to have it in bulk and be struggling to answer questions.
Oh, okay. Okay, so your suggestion is to look at the interview questions, right?
Maybe, yeah.
You guys love interviews.
I'm not sure, based on others, if they feel okay with it, we can do it. If not, maybe some other day.
It's all right. I suppose they do. Otherwise, they would have objected. Silence means
I think interview questions would be good too, because then you're starting something new. I don't think we have enough time to start something new.
Oh, well, thank you guys for your suggestions. I appreciate it. We'll just look for interview questions then. So HTML interview questions. That's how I'll look for them. There's no other way to do this. So I'll just go through here and find any good questions. Say this one here. I'm not familiar with this website, but there was one place that I found some things. Yeah, so they are telling you what is the meaning of HTML. What is HTML, right? In case this comes up in an interview, at least you tell us what it means, right? Hypertext Markup Language. It is a language of the web. So web, so internet is the web browser. And you can say anything that you know about it. You can turn a text into images, tables, links. Just mention the tags, right? And the elements. Easy question. So what are tags? And you guys can just attempt to answer them. We are looking at the answers also, right? If you don't know it, I don't think I know this one. So what is a tag? If I ask you to define a tag, how would you define it? Like looking at this one here. So this is, oh gosh, my computer has a mind of its own. So if you know the names of these things, people can easily understand you, right, when you're speaking. Oh, there's HTML tag. So this is a tag, right? And that
So
is what,
like
please come on.
a tag could be like label, input,
Label, inputs, these are
form.
tags.
So basically the tags are in blue.
Okay. Oh yeah, in Visual Studio. Visual Studio is what's making it blue so that it's
Okay.
easy for you to read the code. Right? Yeah, but other editors may not make it blue. And if you want to find a shortcut for Visual Studio, you have to say VS Code. I typed my code in VS Code. Don't say VSC. VSC is unintelligible.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so just
so
by
it
the way.
has to
Okay, go ahead.
so it has to contain
A content should have a
content, and then it has to have a close.
Actually, they are asking you for just a tag. So the tag doesn't have to contain the content. What has to contain the content? That is the element, the HTML element. Combination of tags and content and closing tag is what makes up an element, right?
Okay, so that makes an element. Okay.
So in an interview, they can ask you to distinguish between a tag and an element of HTML. So this is a tag. This is, we have the starting tag and then the closing tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the tag opens and closes and it has a content between it, it may not have a content. Some of the tags don't have content, right? Like the break doesn't have a content, this one, but it is a tag.
So can I say tag is a link?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Okay.
So tag is not a link at all. So tags are composed of three things: opening tag, content, and ending tag. This statement is incorrect. This statement is not correct at all. HTML tags are composed of three things. Are you kidding me? Elements are composed of three things, not tags. Right? The tag itself is just like I pointed out. This is a tag. That's what we call it: opening tag, ending tag. The content is not a tag. You could add tag to it if it was a tag also. But these make up an element. So HTML documents contain two things: content and tags. Here you can see now, right? The HTML documents contain two things. I wouldn't say documents, I would say elements. I'm beginning to leave this page now because they are misusing the terms. It's like they don't know what they are saying. This whole thing is a document. This is a document. It doesn't, they say the document contains content and tags. Actually, this is a true statement though, honestly, if you think about it. There's a lot of tags in here and then there are contents, right?
Yeah.
So that's a true statement. I'm sorry, I take it back. So this entire document is made up of tags and content. Tags and contents. Okay, that's good. Let's keep going forward. So do you agree that this is no? Do all HTML tags have an end tag? Very straightforward question.
No, because wait.
Yeah.
The break
like many of them.
Yeah, the break.
Even HR also.
It may, yeah, HR.
HR doesn't. Actually,
so we could just give them an example, like no, because you can use a break.
Oh no, you can say because the break tags don't have closing tags. That's how I would answer it. With an example, it's a very, very powerful way to think. With an example, it's always better. When they ask you this, they don't want you to just say no. They don't want you to just say no. They want you to keep talking for them to know you know what you're saying. And the way to do that is to give them examples. And you can see here they give examples. The image tag doesn't have, the break tag also doesn't have.
Okay.
So what is formatting? Formatting in HTML. Right? Formatting. We saw that before. You can, if you bold in a text, you italicize it, you underline it, you strike through it. There are many formatting that you can do, right?
Can you copy and paste this website into the group so we can?
Oh, and the time is also over, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah, we can read about it. That's Java point.
yeah. So this one, how many types of headings does an HTML contain?
6.
6, right? You
Yeah.
see, so far all these questions are very easy for you to answer, right?
Right.
That means we've done a very good job with this kind of tutorial that we've been going through. So you guys can keep going down the list. If there's anything you don't understand, you can let me know.
Can you copy and paste it into the message? Please?
Absolutely. Yes, please. I'll do that. I also
Thank
have a place here that I saved the links. I promise you I'll put it in the group chat right
Okay.
after we hang up. So everyone, please, if you didn't get this, we all know why we didn't get it, because the second lesson we missed it. So that is a reason. If you didn't attend the first lesson, I have a video on YouTube. Please make sure you watch them. And if the video is too slow for you, increase the speed. I bet you if you increase the speed of the video, it's not going to be boring at all. And you can easily cover everything within a short time. But you need to watch the video, because like I told you, as soon as we are going to begin with CSS, the next meeting at this point, I think we are 100% done with HTML at this point. You're going to be building a page like this. Even in our first meeting, when we begin the CSS, we'll be able to do this. Guys, this is a powerful product to build. It's a very powerful product, and you can build it right now after we begin the CSS. If you don't learn the HTML, you're going to struggle. I think the HTML is the most important of the 3 languages, right? Because that is the content. I mean, this is debatable though, because if the content looks ugly, nobody will come to the page. But you can use HTML to really make this content presentable also. You can, it has some attributes. You can move this in the middle. You can do a lot of designs with HTML also. So it's very, very important. And in software, most of the time, what you see there is going to be this HTML code. And the design, something else will take care of the design, which I'm going to teach you after we finish the CSS. So make sure you get familiar. It's very easy, just easy to, follow the videos. I pick the element, we demonstrate, we see how it works. That's all. So it's pretty easy, right? And you come to the website, you will now be confident and say, oh, this is definitely a heading. This is a paragraph. This is an image. I can do this. I can do this. That's all I want, right? Okay. So if there are no questions, I think we can end the meeting here. And if you guys want to call me during the week, you have, like Emmanuel is saying, you need to speak with me. Please do. Just call me, and then let's talk. I believe that, I'll be able to get you on stack, so you can continue watching the videos. Yeah. So guys, I'm sorry we couldn't begin the CSS, even though we plan to do that. Thank you so much for attending. And this is the end of HTML. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. IntelliPad people, I wish you all the best in your classes today. We will continue on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you. And I've posted the link to the interview questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you. Yeah. This is the only way to assess your knowledge about what you learn.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah. Once you go through it and you are good, you can be confident that, you are really good. Yeah.
So even
Thank you.
Sure.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
I appreciate it, boss.
Thank you. Bye. You too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
even hello, Ivan.
Hello.
Oh, you have to
Yeah.
stop it recording.
I'll stop the recording.